moving with your spiritual high blood pressure tester. The thing we test, say, no, this is high, this pressure is high. You know why? Because your eye went like this. That's why oh, you don't understand. It's tightrope walking. When you see a man like Kumuyi, how many years? 80 years, impeccable. You think it is pruning. That's how I want to be. And at 80, I can come for a conference like this and say, I did not take advantage of any lady I pastored. I did not put anybody under pressure to give money. Everyone was free. Everyone gave out of their own free will, free conscience. Like my God, he will never violate your conscience. I was like my God. 5 years before I leave this stage, before my departure, I will tell you. And we will do that test, that it is possible for men to live in this age with the grace of God and live in full alignment to God. But I'm telling you the inner tricks. He prunes those that bring forth much fruit, because he's likely to profit more from them. So he wants them to be ready for service at every level. My mentor, who was a prophet in the village, that was a man that he was on a bike. We used to do evangelism in the village. He was a man of signs and wonders. Every time he slept, he woke up with insight. And if you sleep with him on the same bed in the morning, and he will sleep till 8:30 and snore. Then when he wakes up, you'll be sitting down. You say, the lady you are liking will derail you. when you say, I don't understand what you're, then he will go deeper. Deeper. If you are not careful, he will call her name. You are straying. You are straying from the faith. Did you? My God. We were on a bike, moving, and then he, in the forest, and he missed the way. He just parked the bike, said, don't worry. Spoke in tongues. I said, the way, the direction downloaded, and he drove, yes, from the forest. I'm not talking about prophets of the pulpit. I'm talking about prophets in the market. He can come to the market and say, Ene, come, Ene. Yes. Right there in the market, he will call your name. When you come, then he gives a download. He can do a crusade without equipment. You just pick one person, pick another person, then everybody will say, I surrender all, I surrender. That's the man that taught me how to hear God, the gift of the Spirit. The first time he preached in South Africa, he called people's names, their local names. I'm talking about people that he used to call names in the early 90s. Not these ones that use the session sleep. I'm talking of a real prophet. Oh, it's by research, it's not revelation. We found out. Shame on them. Because there's no glory in that. They are thieves, impersonating what they are not. Meanwhile, the mingle spirit can accommodate your calling. The resources are sufficient to sponsor your calling. Called people's name. From that meeting in South Africa, he got invitation to preach in 22 countries, and he didn't come back to his wife for 2 years. Yes. That was the mistake he made. By the time he was in Kenya, he came to Kenya. There were a 7-day meeting. You know this bottled water we give people? He took his own and said, this one will heal HIV this night. They didn't know that man. 7 HIV positive. There were more, but only 7 could come out because of the shame. And he gave them a drink from his. They were all negative. And the conference was still on. The lab results came out. So they sent for him from the Aso Rock of Kenya. And the president asked him, am I going to win the next election? He said, give me 3 days. That's a man that is sent to kings. He has that anointing. Me, it does not come on me. But that man has the anointing to make kings. 3 days, he went back and said, you are going to win. But there will be blood in the center of your city. That's the man I'm talking about. When that happened, when that prophecy came to pass, the president of Kenya called the president of Congo, DRC, and said, the prophet of Africa is with me here. The president of Congo sent a jet to pick him up. It was red carpet reception that he received. That's when he got a limp. That's when he started walking like that. He began to walk like that. That's how I lost my mentor. Because the next time I saw him, he was prophesying for money. You need to drop money first, then he'll prophesy. He was not like that before. You know why? There was no pruning. He dodged the pruning exercise. You are not with me. I weep because the passport that he used to stray, I bought it. I paid for it. So every day I ask God for mercy. To ask God for mercy. His example is what makes me very cautious. Because every branch, I know he's hearing me. If I don't have clearance, I will not say this. That's how I learned how to pick things. Because I saw him do it in the village. Demons were humiliated. There was a time he came and said, war against witches. If you are a witch, come and surrender. Come and surrender. Come and surrender. Two came. He prayed for them, took their destiny, delivered them. When he left, witches began to die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They sent somebody with transport money to go and call him back that they are ready now. That's the man I'm talking about. The authority operated is strange. And I never saw him pray all night. Me, I'm the one that will pray all night. In the morning, he will wake up and say, Aike temo sale miako. That's all. See, God has anointed men in this country. God has anointed men. In one service, he operated 9 gifts of the Spirit in one service. 9. But that his walk on the red carpet was his exit from the master's pleasure. May you not be given a red carpet before you are pruned enough to have the capacity to manage it. Before I met him, I was a simple Bible teacher. But his life challenged me. I said, this is what the Bible calls man of God. I followed him. I used to leave lectures to go and carry his Bible. Yes, I used to leave. I'm telling you, I used to leave school to go and carry his Bible. He looked at me and said, one day, say, you will leave me. But it was him that left me. Because when he entered that morning, they gave him $1 million US. As a young man, he forgot he had a disciple. And Satan was looking for me to destroy me. That's how I met Papa. And my life was spared. He didn't remember me for 5 years. After 5 years, we held the crusade. And it was everywhere. He now said, why didn't I invite him? That was when I discovered, my friend, my Oga. We were very close. If you escape pruning, you will serve Satan. People think it's about platform. And somebody wants to plant a church. He now goes online and says, if you want to be our worker, apply. They think it's about crowd hunt. Hunting for crowd so that the finances will be in good shape. They think it's about money. I was not poor before we started ministry. I was not poor. I had enough money to build one house every year. Every year. A big house. In any city of my choice. For the 16 years I worked in the oil industry, I was not a poor man. Instead, we were using money to push the kingdom. I love Jesus. That's my motivation. It's unthinkable for me to do something to get money from you fraudulently. It's unthinkable because it will break my relationship with him. It's unthinkable. You will not be sensitive to God if you are not pruned. And so we have many professional preachers that they have nothing to do with Jesus. They don't feel Jesus. They don't know Jesus. They are coming to do a job. And the way to do this job is to get a crowd. And when you get the crowd, the finances are likely to be in shape. I think the pruning hook has not been used in the Nigerian church for a very long time. Very long time. My mentor will come, and when they are putting election posters, he will be telling us who will win elections. He said, this one will just spend money. Oh, this man left the party that he would have used to climb into glory. And he will send messages to them. Anyone that doesn't obey will have himself to blame. A rising prophet was emerging from the backside of the wilderness. There would have been none like him. I'm not half as gifted as him. Half as gifted. Oh, here, he will come here and call two of you by a name. His meetings were always dramatic. There were angels that were present. All kinds of things will happen. And after the meeting, me I will do all night till daybreak. He will snore. Then in the morning, he was the one that left me. It wasn't me that left him. I don't even have that heart to break covenants. It was many years when he saw me, he knew he was wrong. But he saw me grow like a young boy. So he can't tell me sorry. No. But I had grown by watching the example of a mature Christian that made Christ his first audience. I changed my priorities. I changed my vista. Changed my outlook. A man not just of gift, but a man that you could see Christ walking through his feet and stretching his hands through his hands every single day. I saw the life of Christ in the vessel of my Father. It was he that ordained me an apostle. And the moment I was ordained, then the grace began to grow. For every layer of grace he put on my life, there were terrible prunings. There was a time where the pruning work was for me to learn how to tell my wife sorry. If I'm wrong, sorry. If she's wrong, sorry. When everything of the flesh has died, then he will put another layer of authority so that you can stand and speak for him at the gate. I decided that he will not be bound in my vessel, that he will have the needed